And now for this week's interview, we have a very special guest. He is the reigning OAC Defensive Player of the Week and a member of this past week's D3Football.com Team of the Week. Folks, it is my pleasure to announce our guest for this week, defensive end Bricker Thiel. Bricker, thanks so much for stopping by, and how's everything going today?
Certainly. Thank you for having me. The day's going great. So I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to represent the team.
Awesome, man. So we're going to dive into your high school career a little bit. So you went to London High School, which is here in the state of Ohio, about 3 hours southwest of John Carroll. And you were named First Team All-Ohio your senior year back in 2018. What did you learn from playing at this high level when you were in high school that's helped you out here at JCU?
Well, I was very fortunate to have a good coach and a really good strength program. So that helped a lot in transitioning to John Carroll, especially with T-Rob. T-Rob has a good strength program, and so I was able to really come into that, and I liked it. As far as I think the culture that I came from was very well suited to the culture that I came into here at John Carroll, and you know, both cultures are cultures that I really like, and just people who like to work hard.
So it definitely seems like you were attached to that brotherhood culture even before you came here.
Yeah, certainly.
So, and now kind of also talking about the distance that London is from John Carroll, you know, it's pretty far away. It's not really around here. So how did you end up finding your way to John Carroll, and why?
Well, probably the biggest reason I came to John Carroll was my high school football coach played college football with Coach Schaefer. He just left 2 seasons ago now, but he was the main person who came down and recruited me.
Very good. And now kind of talking about the way you play as an individual. Are there any edge rushers that you try to model your game after, and who might they be and why?
Well, as I said, like in high school, I was a linebacker, so now that do a lot more off the edge, I'm obviously a shorter guy, and so, you know, the person who comes to mind would probably be James Harrison. You know, he's shorter, and he was able to have a really successful career in college and in the professionals, so that's definitely someone who I could look at and take some of his moves and stuff like that.
He's definitely not somebody that you'd want to mess with on the football field. Did a lot of damage playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And now we're going to kind of get into your success this season. So over the past 2 games, you have 4.5 sacks, which is just tremendous. And then this past week, you had statistically the best game of your career. 5 tackles, 3.5 TFLs, 3.5 sacks, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. And this ended up having you be named not only the OAC Defensive Player of the Week, but you were also named to the D3Football.com Team of the Week. So what does this mean to you, and how can you and the defense build on to this performance against Marietta?
Well, it's certainly cool that you know, this past Saturday it was a fun time and everything, but you know, as a team and as myself, you know, once that game was over, once Saturday had passed and Sunday rolled around, it was really all focused about this upcoming week and you know, understanding the game plan and all that. So while those like accolades and stuff like that are cool, it's definitely been just been all business this week, certainly.
And kind of building on your experience with John Carroll football so far, what would you say your favorite memory is? You could say either on or off the field.
I'd say this past Saturday was probably fun. I don't know. I haven't thought about that, but I've definitely had a lot of really good memories. A lot of the memories are sometimes the bus rides on the way back. That those are always fun, and you get to really sit and talk to a teammate. You know, maybe in a way that you normally wouldn't if you're in like a meeting or something like that.
And that's something that last week's guest Brendan Few really made a point to talk about. It's not necessarily the plays on the field, like off the field. You're really spending quality time with your teammates, getting to know them, and, you know, it's more than just the on-field activity when you're playing a sport, especially a team sport like football.
Yeah, I'd say that it's probably football and being on the field that unites us and kind of what or you could say, or perhaps goals and aspirations and all that fun stuff. But it's definitely, when you talk about the brotherhood, that's not something that can only pop up on the field, or you know, like around football specifically. It definitely has to extend beyond that into you know, be your more personal life and building relationships with these guys.
Defensive lineman Bricker Thiel is our guest on the Week 7 edition of the John Carroll Football Preview Show. Now we're going to get into a bit more of off the field. So at the moment, you are a junior at JCU, so still a couple of years left. Do you have any plans in mind for after you graduate?
Well, right now, my major is economics, and so obviously that's kind of where I'm headed right now. As far as like graduate school or anything like that, I don't have anything really specific. The biggest thing is, you know, I like to kind of focus on the now, focus on, you know, this semester, even down to, you know, this week, and tests or quizzes or whatever I might be having come up now. And so, you know, of course I'm, you know, starting to look at internships and all that fun stuff. But, you know, as for concrete plans and stuff like that, no, I don't have any specifics.
Well, there's certainly a great business school here in the Bowler School of Business that I'm sure is helping you try to determine that. So how about now, what do you enjoy doing when you're not playing football?
Most of my days are spent with football and academics, but you know, that just keeps coming back to like this kind of culture and brotherhood and all that fun stuff. You know, I love being with some of the guys and just talking, and you know, whether or not there's a movie on the TV or whether or not you're just kind of shooting the stuff, if you know what I mean.
Friendly banter.
Right, yeah.
Awesome. So nice to hear that you're spending time with teammates, not just on the football field. And something else I couldn't help but mention, you have an awesome name. You know, Bricker to me makes you think of like a brick wall, a very formidable force. So is there a story about how you got this unique name?
No, as far as I'm concerned, there's not really a story behind it. Maybe there is. I'm not aware of it, though.
Well, I'd say you're certainly writing a good story so far on the football field, playing, you know, like that formidable force, a brick wall. Once again, defensive lineman Bricker Thiel is our guest. We're going to now kind of transition into our final segment of our interview. Do want to thank you once again for taking the time to speak with us. It's a bit of a rapid fire, so you're not going to be timed or anything like that. It's just quick answers to quick questions.
I'll do my best.
Try to have us get to know you a little bit better. Are you ready for it?
I think so.
All right. Well, here we go. First off, your favorite food?
Food? Probably a nice steak.
Been hearing that a lot so far on the preview show this year. So steak dinner's got to be coming soon.
Yeah, definitely.
How about your favorite show?
Oh man, I don't watch much TV. Like I said, most of my time spent with school and football, so I don't really know about that one.
Hey, no worries. It's all good. How about your favorite movie?
Oh man, Inception was pretty good. Kind of had you thinking a lot. So I'd say that.
Yeah. Favorite musician?
I don't know if I have one. Of course, you know, kind of whatever. If someone tosses something on in the locker room, I'll listen to it.
Yeah. So kind of a little bit of everything in terms of music.
For sure.
Do you have a favorite book?
Oh, no, I probably don't read as much as I should.
No worries. I mean, a lot of it's moving into the technology nowadays instead of the book, so I totally understand. It is all good. How about your favorite current football player? Could give more than one if more than one comes to mind.
Definitely, like if you talk about edge rushers and people coming out of Central Ohio, would probably be the Bosas, either of them, and what they've been able to do in the professionals as well is definitely something there.
Yeah, they've had a great amount of success, college and the pros so far. So those are definitely two great ones to have in mind. How about favorite all-time player?
Well, I mean, I have to say in part London Fletcher, especially being that, you know, coming from JCU, what he was really able to do in the NFL and just the persistence. That's definitely something that's next level for sure.
Definitely one of the legendary men of Carroll to wear the blue and gold. And finally, as a pass rusher, what's your favorite pass rush move?
Oh man, as I said, I'm smaller. I'd like to think I'm a little quicker, than some of the other guys. So you maybe like a speed rush, but of course we try and practice to be more than to not just be one dimensional. So but yeah, I'd say my speed is probably the best thing I have going for me.
So like ideally trying to get to the outside when you can, but
yeah,
you try to do a little bit of everything.
Sure, yeah.
Well, very good. Well, that is just about going to do it for our Week 7 interview here on the John Carroll Football Preview Show with defensive lineman Bricker Thiel. Thank you so much once again for joining us, and best of luck this week against Marietta.
Certainly. Thank you for having me. Thank you for everything you do for the program. These shows are definitely cool, so thanks a lot.
Well, it's greatly appreciated. Thank you, Bricker.